Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Demystify Selling with Microsoft. And I'm excited for my guest today. I had met Elena a while back, and she shared something with me that she was so passionate about. I just had to ask her to join me on our call today. So, Elena, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to talk to you today, Rob. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we get into the topic I want you to share with the audience, I'd love to learn just a little bit more about your background, Elena, and you could share with our audience a little bit of your journey. That would be really helpful, I think.
Yeah, very happy to. So I grew my career in software development companies. They're also known as independent software vendors or
Mhm.
ISVs, both in startups and large public software companies. But mostly, these solutions were enterprise solutions focused on infrastructure. And my roles were, business development, alliances, so driving partnerships, also developing go-to-market plans and co-selling. So really just, building strategic partnerships and mostly with cloud providers like Microsoft, mostly with Microsoft.
Right. So it sounds like, and this is really one of the things that I think is going to be so interesting about our conversation today is that you come from the world of what we would refer to as an ISV. Is that fair to say?
Totally. Yes, exactly.
Right. And so what I'm excited about is you bring the experience of both being in the shoes of an ISV as well as working now inside of Microsoft. So, a lot of times I'll speak with folks that maybe have one or the other perspective. You come to the table with a really unique perspective. And that's what so excites me is that you've worn both sets of shoes.
Totally.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so let me share what you and I talked about. And it's this concept of incubate and launch. So you shared this with me, and you mentioned this is the group you belong to, but the way you
Yeah.
talked about it, it literally was like a mission. Like I felt like you were on a mission, and I was like, okay, a lot of people need to hear this mission. So maybe you could talk to me about first incubate and launch, what that means, and that's the team you're on, if I'm correct. Um, and then tell me a little bit about what it means to go on this journey of incubate and launch.
Sure. Um, Yeah, and so this team that I'm on now sort of encapsulates, a couple of the other roles that I've had in Microsoft. Was on the marketplace team, driving enterprise selling, sort of changing behaviors with, helping our partners sell through the marketplace, and also, was on the modern work ISV team helping our partners leverage Microsoft 365 platform and integrate with them. And so both of those different roles really play into what we're going to be leveraging as a part of our strategy in the incubate and launch team. So this this team is focused on digital natives, and for those of you that don't know, these are mostly born in the cloud companies known for their ability to quickly adopt and leverage new technologies. And many of them reach breakout success and they start disrupting markets. And many of these companies are leveraging AI. And so, our focus is on these companies because they're going to have a differentiated solution and it's going to be built on our platform. And so think about the incubate and launch experience as Microsoft's focus on partners who have built their solutions leveraging the Microsoft platform, made their solutions transactable on the Azure Marketplace,
Mhm.
and have made it a priority to grow their business by partnering with us. And so, yeah, happy to talk about what that journey could look like.
I would love to. I think that's going to be really important for partners to understand. I mean, you brought up a lot. You touched on a lot of things in a short amount of time. So let's try and
Yeah.
break some of that out. Is that you talk about born in the cloud and transactable and marketplace. So there's a lot of things, but maybe if you could paint the picture of this journey, and then I would love to break down some of the more sort of tactical things like what transactable means, what it means to be in the marketplace. But first, if you could paint that picture of, I'm coming to the table, I'm a new ISV or a digital native to the Microsoft ecosystem. What's the
Mhm.
journey that, you and your team are going to take a partner on?
Yeah. So these companies are moving quickly and really, accelerating, their position in the market. And so our goal with these partners is to help them accelerate their growth very quickly as well. So we're going to start by listening and learning about what these partners are creating, what makes their solution unique, and how does it ultimately help our customers. So
Right.
our job is to figure all of that out and then bring all the different aspects of the Microsoft AI Partner Program um, to help them flourish. So that starts with, really thinking through their partner, the strategy of how
Mhm.
they're going to market. How are we going to position their offer and their better together pitch, including, crafting a bill of materials that not only speaks to customers, but also, speaks to our field and gets their attention. So, um, you mentioned marketplace. So, how do we leverage the marketplace as a route to market? So building out that strategy and what are the enablement pieces that we need to bring to light to help drive that strategy. So is it an industry message? Is it based around our solution areas? And have we married up that the uniqueness of their solution to our sales plays? um, and then the journey wouldn't be complete without making sure that we are building in their any funding opportunities or incentive opportunities. Again, that could be linked to marketplace or not. But yeah, then evangelizing and really helping take their solution out to our customers. So, first ensuring that we are introducing them to our sales teams,
Yeah.
building that, evangelizing, sort of motion, inside Microsoft, and then, where it fits, helping bring those to our joint customers.
I love that. It's like the sort of three really impactful motions that you can do with a partner. The introduction to sales teams, evangelizing the product, and then finally is where it makes sense, introductions to joint customers. So I love that. But I would like to backpedal for just a minute because you touched on something earlier that I think is really important. We talked about sales plays and the alignment and understanding your superpowers. But one of the things you touched on is the alignment with the field. And what that makes me think about is really this concept of a win-win-win. So it's the customer ultimately winning, but at the same time, we're helping the Microsoft field win, and
Mhm.
us as a partner are winning. So we've got this sort of trifecta together of all three of
Mhm.
us coming to the table with a win, which I think is really where the magic happens.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. So let's start with number one, being the customer,
Yeah.
right? Making sure that and you mentioned the field, right? This is all through our field. So, making sure that the field, understands what this technology is and how it can solve problems at their customer.
Yeah.
So, evangelizing, bring it to bear for the customer, and making sure that we are addressing their business needs. So the customer wins in a couple of different ways, right? We're solving, we're bringing them a solution that helps accelerate their growth or solves a particular business problem that they're having. Um, um, yeah, or yeah.
Let
Go
me
ahead.
let me
Sorry.
ask you. One of the things that some of the partners that I talk to are interested in is that not only can they help solve a customer's problem, but because their offer, the ISV's offer, is transactable, it can also help to decrement the Azure commit, assuming it's related to that. But
Right.
is that something that you see a value and a win both for the customer and for the Microsoft field?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so that's part of, making sure that their solution is transactable. And if it is a
Mhm.
solution, built on Azure and it can decrement a commitment that a customer has made to Microsoft, then, really everybody wins, right? The
Right.
customer is going to be able to, meet their commitment with Microsoft. And with shrinking budgets and uncertainty potentially in an industry or a market, certain projects could be put on hold, and so a marketplace purchase could help that customer stay up to date and you know stay in line with their commit
With their
to
commit.
Microsoft. So I think partners underestimate the true value that customers do see in being able to purchase through the through the marketplace. And yeah, for partners, transacting through the marketplace, there's also incentives from our partner program, and so where when they do transactions and start driving the business that way as a strategy, they're going to be able to reinvest in the marketplace as a route to market. And because when a customer purchases a solution through the Azure Marketplace, it comes on their Azure bill as a marketplace purchase.
Right.
That's something that this startup may not need to deal with then, right? They're not going to be responsible for that billing aspect. And
Right.
that can be a true help for a lot of these partners. That's going to be something that they will manage in the partner center. They'll be able to track it. They'll be able to get reports on it. They'll be able to get incentives for it. But yeah, that will be something that they won't have to, manage separately from a billing standpoint, while being able to still craft a custom deal, however that vendor wants to set it up within the confines of the marketplace, but they can
Mhm.
still set up multi-year deals. They can still set it up to bill monthly or annually. So a lot of that is still within the partner's control, and they're still negotiating that directly with customers. But the transaction, you know, happens within the Azure portal
Yeah.
and the partner center. So that's something that, yeah, can be super helpful as well.
I love that because it says to me that really the us as the ISV or partner community gets to maintain the level of flexibility that we want to
Yep.
deliver our solution the way we want to price our solution. And really the change that's happening is that Microsoft already has an agreement with these customers. And so Microsoft is facilitating the transaction, but giving us the flexibility to deliver that transaction in a way that makes sense for that customer, and even potentially, if you think of the concept of multi-party private offers, deliver it specific to a customer. So it's
Oh
not
yeah.
like our hands aren't tied in any way, shape, or form. In my opinion, it's really we have flexibility, and Microsoft just facilitates the transaction.
Yeah.
I think personally, as a salesperson at heart, when you have the paper already taken care of with a customer, and
Yeah.
it's really just a transaction, it really it removes so much friction. So I love that.
Totally.
There's a couple of
Yeah.
other concepts I want to dig into real quick. You mentioned the concept of a sales play. Just for our
Mhm.
audience, could you share what that is and kind of why the field thinks about sales plays?
Well, this is the way that we're prioritizing solving problems for our customers, and
Mhm.
so we have prioritized based on what's happening in a particular industry or market. This is how we are helping solve these problems, whether it's materials. There could be funding associated to these different sales plays. And different offers and incentives. So that's sort of how we're prioritizing different motions, and
Yeah.
by partners aligning to that, you're essentially speaking the same language
Yeah.
and sort of joining forces
Yeah.
with Microsoft in a way that is, that we truly are better together. Perhaps there's an integration that is a part of that,
Yeah.
that, really helps solve in a more streamlined way that the customer, can be more smooth in their implementation.
Mhm.
So a lot of things come together in the sales plays, and you know, having the materials, creating the content that drives that sales play, bringing it to Microsoft, so bring it to the field with that message ready, and then it makes you better able to and faster able to go take that to customers and solve those business problems quicker.
I love that you called that out, speed to market right there. So I think that,
Totally.
for me, the sales play, it says a couple things. One, this is a priority to Microsoft. They've built
Yes.
sales plays because it is a priority. But two is to help move the deals through the customer journey, or MSAM, the
Right.
Microsoft customer journey, much quicker. And I love that. So thank you for sharing that. I know we're coming up on time here in a minute, but
Yeah.
I do want to just, and I think you've already answered this in some way, but I just want to double down on this: is how important is it for a partner to really understand and leverage Partner Center and Marketplace?
Yeah. Um, this is really this is really where the partnership comes to life digitally.
Right.
Um, in Partner Center, they're going to create their marketplace listings and upload content about them. This is also in Partner Center where they're going to be able to see different offers and incentives available to them if they qualify within Partner Center. This is where they're going to see where their marketplace transactions have occurred, see their customers, and be able to see reporting on their business essentially. But it's also the cornerstone of our co-sell program, meaning, this is where when we are working together, the partner sees it in Partner Center and we see it internally in our systems. If the partner chooses to share that with Microsoft, there's definitely ways that you don't have to do that. But nonetheless, it is still managed within Partner Center. And if you are sharing, opportunities, and if Microsoft is sharing opportunities, basically this is where it comes together and where you become visible to Microsoft.
Mm.
And so if, I've had conversations with partners all the time about, how do I, the big question is, how do I become a managed partner, or how do I get more visibility and expand into a new region, or something like that. And really, when you are building your business and you're having successes, it's either pipeline or closed deals. Those regional leaders, those sales leaders, they're going to be looking for pipeline or closed deals or win stories. But that's where you're going to show up to Microsoft leadership. And so managing your business visibly, to Microsoft happens in Partner Center. And I think it's underestimated how important that is for partners, but it really does answer that question, because we may be looking at it from a worldwide lens and then saying, okay, well, what, how much business is there actually in EMEA, or how much is there in the Americas, that will ultimately, data is king. And
It is.
that is what drives the business. So
Yeah.
help us help you by showing up in the systems that we're analyzing on a day-to-day basis.
I love that. And I love the term you talk about, visibility. I always think of it as it's the one way that Microsoft can see your impact as a partner. And to your point, that's the visibility. That's how important it is to show up, to be visible in Partner Center. So I really appreciate it. I feel like you just gave a little mini
Yeah.
masterclass on why to go to Partner
Ah, that's so funny. Can I add one thing
Oh,
to
please
Partner
do.
Center?
Please do.
Because I didn't
Please.
touch on it, but I loved when you said earlier, you brought up MPO, or multi-party offers
Yeah.
via the marketplace. And it's something that we've expanded. First it was available in the Americas, and now we've expanded to the UK and Canada. But when you're an ISV or a digital native and you list your solution in the marketplace, you can also share that with our broader ecosystem and allow either one partner that you're working very closely with, or you can open up to the hundreds of thousands of Microsoft partners to be able to pick up that ISV solution and resell it to their customers, or maybe leverage that to create a campaign to drive into a new market. So I just wanted to bring that up because multi-party offers are a way for maybe smaller companies, or some of these companies that are just exploding in growth, to get that scale. And that all happens in Partner Center and in the marketplace, leveraging those marketplace features.
Oh my goodness, I am so glad you brought that up, because that really, I mean, to think about, traditionally an ISV might have to go and source one services partner at a time, and to build that. But
Exactly.
the marketplace really changes the game, allowing you to say, look, there's 100 or there's 400,000 Microsoft partners. Let's say,
Yeah.
100,000 could potentially resell your offer. You've just expanded your sales force,
Yep.
infinitely. So I love that you brought that up, Elena. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
So as we're coming to a wrap here, what's one key takeaway? And I don't know how you're going to pick, because I feel like there was 50, I took a page full of notes here, so I don't know how you're going to
Uh,
pick. But what's one key takeaway you'd say to a partner that, if you don't take anything else away, take this away?
so we talked about Partner Center and how important it is.
Yeah,
And, I think that is job one.
yeah,
But just doing that is, it's an important part of your business, but it's not everything. You can't just stop there, because everybody is so busy within Microsoft and within, all of our partners too. And so I know, people think I'm probably, you know, I'm going to pitch AI. Let's just get it out there. But leveraging Copilot um, will help you be more efficient in your follow up and follow through
oh,
on that pipeline
yeah,
sharing, on the co-sell opportunities. And so, not only do you need to manage your business through Partner Center, you have to, when you're having these conversations, you do get conversations with the Microsoft field. Um, leverage the Copilot, turn on, the recording and the transcription. And after your meeting, get those notes and summarize it and send it out to the team with the action items and hold people accountable. Schedule your next calls. Like,
yeah.
there's so much that, all these great solutions that are leveraging AI, but really think about investing in that for your partnership business. And it will just create so many more efficiencies. You're going to be able to create and spend so much more time on the actual deals than on the business of co-selling. So that's really my what I like to tell partners is, everybody has a good warm fuzzy after a Microsoft co-sell call, but get
Yeah.
those follow-ups out there and really leverage AI and those features to make yourself more efficient. I think that is a really big key to success. The partners that I see doing it well are doing that.
That right there, the follow up and follow through. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest challenges partners face when they want to go down this co-sell motion. They have, just as you accurately pointed out, is that they have these meetings, they're excited, and then crickets.
Yep.
You have to follow up as a partner. It is on us as the partner to follow
Yeah.
up and follow through. So, Elena, again, nailed it. Masterclass in follow up, follow through. So, thank you for that.
Thank
One
you.
last thing, if anybody wants to learn more about Elena and to connect with you, is LinkedIn the best place to do that?
Yes, that would be perfect. Thank you. Just reach out to me on LinkedIn. Happy to chat.
I encourage you, if you're not going to reach out, at least follow Elena. She publishes great content. She's out there making an impact with and for Microsoft. So please follow her. And Elena, I want to thank you for joining me today. This has been great.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to share, and really excited about all these emerging partnerships, and good luck.